Hi, I'm Scott with Aquatic Source, and doing this for Michigan Pool News. In year 2011, I know we're doing kind of a wrap up this month for Michigan Pool News, and I wanted to talk about some of our projects that we worked on and how important I think they were to the client and also to obviously to Aquatic Source, but more so towards our environment too, and what I think we're seeing everybody starting to look more at as far as how our impact is on power usages and gas and electrical and so forth. So the first one I'd like to talk to you about is this Dearborn School Districts had us go out and we partnered up with Johnson Controls, and we installed Heat Saver on I think it was like 14 of their swimming pools, and it's a pretty neat product. It's a paraffin wax with some other chemicals in it, and it's 100% biodegradable. But when it's added to pool water, it will actually just rise to the top and create a liquid barrier. And their website shows it for the non-believers. I mean, they just show a pool just outside in temperature, just steaming off from the change in temperature, and they pour in a little bit of their product, and you can just see it spread over the top of the pool immediately and shut the steam rolling off. So for evaporation and chemical use and heat use, it's great. The difficulty of getting it installed on a commercial aquatic facility is a little different because you can't have water running over the gutter because the product will dissipate. It'll biodegrade 100%. So you need to make the top of the water stagnant for the evenings when you're using the product, and swimmers can't be in there. So, half of your pool life could be wrapped around having this product in there and maintaining compared to maybe a mechanical blanket. So that was a pretty neat product. Their website's pretty neat. I don't know if it's heatsaver.com, but liquid pool covers, you can Google it. It was started in a residential market, and they show some pretty good savings, and they do some thermometer gun shooting of it, and it's pretty neat stuff. The other project that I think was really interesting was Rolling Hills came to Todd Lyons, you recall, worked for Aquatic Source for a while and did a lot for Michigan Pool News, and came to us and talked to us about VFDs. And early on, when we saw the VFDs and saw what they could do, we've been working on this for close to 3 years. We knew that well, what we figured out was you just couldn't go buy a VFD and put it on there, so we kind of trumped it and threw the A in front of it and called them aquatic variable frequency drives. And then all of a sudden a company devoted their time, H2 Flow, to basically going after the bodies of water, because there's so many different things to think about when you're putting a VFD on a swimming pool. And so with Rolling Hills, it was interesting putting in all these VFDs. They purchased 18 VFDs, and they're putting them on all their outdoor aquatics, and they have a Mary Lou Rec Center in the area also that they put what we consider very small pumps, a 5-horse and a couple of 2-horse pumps. But just at that little facility, their savings could be as much as $7,000 to $8,000 a year in electrical on just a 5-horse and a couple of 2-horse pumps with these variable frequency drives. And I like to call them aquatic variable frequency drives because you just can't throw a freak drive on a pool pump and not know all the different settings that are obtainable. We've even talked with a couple of our clients to Paul Sisson and sent up some documentation. And if they're tied into your building management systems, the BMSs, Paul will give you the ability to go to an 8-hour turnover in the nights and non-pool usage times. And that could be just astronomical electrical savings for a facility. And it's good. I think it's the right thing to be doing, and you just need to make sure that you get all the things that you need to tie into a VFD to put it on a swimming pool and understand all the different things that you're doing when you do it, because it definitely is not just like an air handler, and I'm sure that there's a lot more to air handlers I don't know when it comes to putting VFDs on them. So one of our other projects was pretty interesting. We had a client that had somebody that was very in tune to smells and was very concerned of the quality of the water at one of our bigger competition pools, and we worked really close with the operator, and that operator, and I know many a times I've talked about operators on Michigan Pool News that get it. This guy got it. I mean, he knows his combined chlorines and his free chlorine, his total chlorine, he knows his pH inside and out. He knows where he likes to keep his calcium levels. He really gets it. But the facility had actually had combined chlorine coming in, was used to sanitize their water, makeup water. So here he has this large pool, and every time he adds, 25, 30,000 gallons of fresh water, he's adding, 0.2 parts per million of combined chlorine, because that's what the city is using to sanitize their water. So what they did is they knew that it was new technology, and they knew that they had a lot of complaints, and I don't think that the complaints. I think the operator was doing the best he could with what he had to work with, but when you're fighting makeup water with combined chlorines and swim teams in and out of swimming pools, all you operators out there know, man, there's shocking gets to be old unless you're just dumping water to waste, which gets very expensive. And they put in a medium pressure UV system. Within 4 days, they went from a normal reading of between 0.3 and 0.4 parts per million combined chlorine to zero. They have zero combined chlorine. We're still helping the operator kind of tweak the system, because the UV system actually doesn't have to run all the time. They were going through pretty close to 100 pounds of extra cal hypo every week due to the system being installed, because UV systems will attack good chlorine too. And so it was just a neat project to get set up, and we're getting them balanced in there. And I think that in the long run, they've noticed some really neat things with the UV system. One is that the facilities cleaning people have asked questions why it's been much easier for them to clean the facility. And obviously the UV is oxidizing a lot more things that they normally would have to wipe down and clean up. So it's saving their cleaning at night some time. The other thing the operator, Jerry, said to me, and I'm going to track this more with him over the next year or so with the UV unit, is that his chlorine levels have basically stopped fluctuating. So what he's told me is, he says it's just like flatlined. He says, I've got this chlorine reading, and it is always the same every day when I come in. He says it's almost like it fixed my chemical controller, and he knows that that's not the case. And he had asked me if we'd had reports of that prior to, and I can't say that I actually have. It's a question I'm going to ask the Livonia Civic Center, because they've had UV for quite some time, if it's something that they've noticed since they've installed their units. So. But again, those were 3 fun projects that we worked on, and I think they were really good for the clients. And 2011 was an interesting year in aquatics, and hopefully 2012 will be another one. And thanks for viewing Michigan Pool News, and have a great day.